Hey everybody. Last Thursday on May 31st, 2018, there was a gigantic auction of vintage computer games, computer hardware, as well as console games and console hardware that took place in Edison, New Jersey. And what you're seeing here is some footage I filmed of some of the stuff that was available at this auction. Not a complete set or complete picture or anything like that, but just tons of games available and old hardware. What you're seeing right now is some stuff for the IBM PC. There's a Savage Empire just pulled out of the list, Ultima. There was stuff for the Tandy color computer and whatnot as well. And also, like I said, tons of hardware, PC Juniors and old Tandys. But this is just the beginning of it. There's tons more stuff in this auction. And this auction was basically, there was a gentleman by the name of Bill LaJudas who used to collect this stuff. And this is all his own personal collection that he eventually decided he has too much stuff in his house, in his basement, and storage, and he wanted to get rid of it all. What you're seeing here now is some Apple and Macintosh hardware and software. Bill he still runs the website armchairarcade.com. He's also pretty active, as far as I know, on Atari Age. He's written a few books, some of them in collaboration with Matt Barton, some of them in collaboration with his wife, I believe some on his own. And basically, the guy was legitimately into computer gaming and computer hardware. And you can see her quite impressive Apple II collection. This stuff actually went for serious money in the auction. I'm just pulling out here a Wizardry 2 original release in the baggie. There was tons of baggy software like that, some of which was auctioned off for thousands and thousands of dollars. And I guess Bill one day decided he has just too much stuff. He wants to get rid of it. He auctioned off not only his games and his hardware, but also books and whatever else he happened to have in his house. And so instead of going on eBay and doing this one at a time, which probably would have netted him the most cash, he decided to go on to a physical auction site in New Jersey, I guess near where he lives, and just auction it all off as one big collection. Not as one big lot, because basically these were broken up into batches of individual games or 2 to 3, 4, 5 games and auctioned off like that. So this actually took quite a long time. The auction started at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and didn't end, I don't think, until around 4 o'clock in the morning. You're looking now at some Spectrum stuff, Timex Sinclair stuff, other British computers. So the auction went pretty late. I actually stayed only until about 1:30 in the morning. I didn't quite make it all the way to the end. What I was a little bit surprised at when I got there is that I thought that this was going to be more console stuff than PC stuff. You're looking now at a bunch of Amiga discs and games. I thought it would be mostly console stuff, but there was actually, as you can see, quite a lot of PC stuff there. There was some console stuff as well, and I don't think I even have it in the video because I didn't have time to film everything. But there was a table with a bunch of boxed Nintendo games, and those all went individually for decent money, probably about the same you'd see it on eBay. But there was a lot of computer games, and the people that came to bid on these games, a lot of them were PC collectors and or resellers. There was definitely a number of resellers there. There was a gentleman who I know only as Buyer 521, who we heard his name way too many times during the auction. It was always Buyer 521, Buyer 521. I want to say that, based on what I can tell, this guy single-handedly bought half of this massive collection. He really just didn't seem to have any specific appetite. It was just everything he could possibly get. Here you see some Odyssey stuff. Anything that the guy could get for a decent price, and sometimes for very, very high prices, he was bidding on. And he must have easily spent tens of thousands of dollars. If not for that one guy being there, I think a lot of the stuff would have gone for a lot cheaper. As it is, and here's some Coleco stuff, some Atom stuff. So there's some console stuff in this video as well. And there's also a bunch of these newer homebrew games that were being auctioned off. I saw, for example, Adventure 2 for the 5200, which I happen to like. But this is more Coleco, more Atom, and there'll be some Commodore stuff coming up in a bit. But I feel like some of the fun was taken out of the auction by the fact that there were not a lot of resellers, but a number of very serious resellers that bid, on a lot of different things. They probably overbid on some items, frankly, maybe for themselves, but they definitely really wanted to pick up a lot of these games. And I saw already some of them appear on eBay. Since this auction took place only a few days ago, a number of the things that I missed out on are already on eBay. I picked up G.I. Joe disc for the Commodore 64. There's a lot of Commodore stuff coming around here in this next table. Again, so yeah, the resellers ruined some of it, but obviously that was good for Bill because they helped to jack up the prices on a lot of these. But there were some deals to be had. You see there a stack of Avalon Hill games. I remember a stack like that of about 10 games went for about $10. I'm trying to avoid filming other people. That's why I'm sort of shooting my shoes at the moment there. But yes, that stack of Avalon Hill games or one like it went for around $10, especially towards the end of the auction in the middle of the night when people were just really tired and wanted to get out of there. A lot of those EA folders went for very cheap, the ones I'm flipping through. So there were a lot of nice bargains to be had. Unfortunately, they're also the games that were really worth money. Folks knew it, and those were bid up, as I said before, to very high prices. This is a bunch of TRS-80 games that are coming up after the Commodore 64 games. And in the TRS-80 bunch, there was a original personal software Zork with the Barbarian cover. That one actually went for $750, believe it or not, which I think is more than probably it's worth. But that was bid up by a couple of gentlemen, both of whom were resellers, but I think both of them wanted a copy for themselves. There's some old SSI stuff, some old Epic stuff. Here coming to the TRS-80 hardware. There's an old TRS-80 Model 1, which I used to have, and the TRS-80 games, both Coco and also the original Trash 80. And so that was an example saying that was bid up. In the Apple II section, there was definitely some games that went for in the thousands. It was a lot of maybe a couple, but a bunch of those baggy games, went for some decent money. So this is not to say that everyone should go out and start buying, old Apple II games and assume they're all worth money. I think the people there that were buying really knew what they were doing and really knew what was worth and what wasn't. But it was definitely a fun event, very interesting, very tiring. Here's some Atari ST stuff, and then there'll be some Atari 8-bit stuff coming up, and as well as some other Atari console stuff. Very tiring, very exhausting, but fun. I did pick up a few things, mostly some things for some other people. It was not cheap. There was not really a lot of huge bargains to be had, unless you were a reseller and you stayed pretty late at night and other people maybe were afraid to bid against you. But there was some bargains to be had at the end of the day. And bottom line is, had some fun. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe, share, check out my other videos, tell your friends, etc. And have a great day, everybody. I doubt we'll see another auction like this anytime soon.